amazing DMC has been around for the last 4 years, but I have been doing incentives in Iceland for about 20 years. So we've been doing this quite a while. But I want to run over a little bit of the options of what we have in the land of ice and fire. This is not all of what we can do, but it gives you an idea. And I do start with this picture of the volcano. You can both see it on my screen and then behind me as well. It is always important to talk about the volcano eruptions in Iceland because we are a volcanic island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. And the news sometimes always makes it feel a little bit extreme when you see it in foreign media. But the reason why you have a local Icelandic DMC is that we will let you know if there's anything to worry about. These are localized volcano eruptions. They're in a very, very small part of the country. They are stunning, often interesting to watch, but they're always, of course, there's nature and so on, but we are always very safe and we always take very good care of our people. And in a land like Iceland, safety is always number one. So if you don't hear from me, you don't need to worry, then we're all good in the land of ice and fire. But let me see. And just to give you a little bit of idea where we are, as you can see, we're very conveniently located and we have a lot of direct access from Germany to Iceland. So our connections are very good and we are only about 3 to 3.5 hours away from Germany. So we are quite easy connections. I can, of course, send you more details about this if you have requests. And also, we have a very good connection with Icelandair themselves. So it is always, I'm always happy to share those with you guys. Now, let me see. Just to give you a little bit of a picture of, we are not as dark as you think, and we are not as cold as you think. So these are our daylight hours. Most of our groups will be coming from from April to May, June, and then again from September, October until about mid-November. Iceland is, of course, an amazing winter destination. So if you have a client that's looking for something a little bit more out of the box, February and March are fantastic months to come, but they are winter months, and we will always need to think about plan A, plan B, and plan C, and so on. But it is one of those things that is always adventure and leaves once in a lifetime experience for sure in Iceland. Now, we are a nature destination. And what I'm showing you now is the trifecta of our very famous golden circle. You can see geysers, which is erupting over there with our hot springs. You have the beautiful Gullfoss waterfall, and then our national park, Þingvellir. So this is the trifecta of the golden circle. Now, the reason I start with talking about this is always because why you're coming to Iceland is nature and scenic locations and so on. And to experience this, we have, of course, the entire country to play with. These are the locations in the south. And these are the locations that are very famous. Obviously, we always like thinking outside of the box. So we have these stunning locations as well. They're more of the beaten track and we can go and explore them. Waterfalls that are not as crowded and not with as many people. Obviously, we always try to think of like a high season of tourists is June, July, August. July, August being, of course, with a lot of people there. So then we try to go off the beaten track and do something a little bit different. And then, of course, we have our beautiful city of Reykjavík. So with about 240,000 people, we do call it a city, although I do know it does classify as a town, but it's the only one we have. So we try to keep it as a city, but it's a very small, beautiful location, very safe, and it's wonderful to explore and do things with people in it. But again, to the golden circle. So people always tell me, Berglind, I don't want to do the typical tourist thing. But the typical tourist thing is a typical tourist thing because it's amazing. So while we're doing the golden circle, we try to do something different. We try to bring the adventure. We try to add into the wow factor, something the client couldn't do on their own if they're traveling in Iceland. And then, of course, if we can throw in a Viking, we will always throw in a Viking. That's just what we do. But also we have a lot of beautiful, fun, exciting activities. And that is kind of what Iceland is. Iceland is a nature's playground. We are the only destination, as far as I know, and I Google this a couple of times a year to see if I'm proven wrong, but as far as I know, we are the only destination in the world that can offer snowmobiling all year round on a glacier. So snowmobiling on a glacier is something you can't do anywhere else, even though you can go snowmobiling in a lot of locations. So this is a unique activity for sure. We have our modified super trucks, where you can see up there, where we have drivers with special license to drive these kind of cars. Driving into the highland, they have about 44 to 46-inch tires that are modified to drive into the highland and to drive in the snow and on the glacier. And then we have smaller modified vehicles, like you can see below, where the guests can drive themselves. So these are a little bit different activities. For the modified super trucks with the drivers, we can take groups up to 350 easily. But for the self-drive tours, I wouldn't want to take much more than 30 to 40 people per group, simply because the enjoyment and the wow factor of the activity is via smaller groups. So that's always one of those things you have to take care of when you're looking at activity, making sure it's enjoyable for the group sizes that you have. And then again, just the idea, this is just within the Golden Circle. We have so much activity. This is just an idea of what we can do. We have the river rafting in the summertime, the horseback riding all year round, the stunning lava tunnels that are quite different from a lot of caves you will find in Europe, because about 5,500 years ago, we had glowing magma running through here, and now we have these stunning lava tunnels we can go and explore. And then at the same time, we can go and explore brand new lava that just came from a volcano eruption. We have eruption going on right now. So basically we can see lava that just arrived today. So it is quite, for me at least, I think it's quite fascinating kind of to see how the world is made. This is 5,500 years ago. And then we can go and see a day old lava. So I always love that. ATVing on the black sandy beach. To me, that is the ultimate freedom, like the black sandy beach, the ocean right next to you. This group obviously was coming in the sunrise around 11 o'clock in the morning in November. So it's just one of those things. It's nature at its best. So I always love that. And then, of course, again, depending on your group, your client, what they're looking for, off the beaten track, Iceland has so many places and locations to offer when we can go. And I will say the luxury part is that we can find locations where it's just us out in nature. People often ask like about the luxury parts of Iceland. I always say luxury is not the same thing as luxury. In Iceland, I feel nature experiences, the connection to the environment, the solitude aspect of it. That is the wow factor, not necessarily the hotels. So it's just different things what you're looking for, but I think Iceland definitely offers a unique experience in the wow factor of nature and the luxury of enjoying nature. Then, of course, the other luxury part about living in a volcanic island in the middle of the Atlantic. So because we have a volcanic island, we have a lot of natural hot water. So that it kind of comes to that, like the magma thing, heating up the water, and we have a lot of hot water in Iceland. And we definitely use it. It's a big part of our culture. You will find swimming pools all over Iceland. You will find Icelanders have summer houses all over the island, and it's not called a summer house if it doesn't have a hot tub. Doesn't make sense. So we have to have a hot tub. And then, of course, we have all these stunning lagoons. So this is something that is, I don't know, deeply rooted in our culture. I don't think you find a person in Iceland that doesn't have a hot tub or goes to the lagoon or go to the swimming pool or uses the hot water in some capacity. So this is the stunning Sky Lagoon. So this is one of our new lagoons, and you can see the city of Reykjavík behind. This is only about 15 minutes from downtown Reykjavík. So it's a stunning lagoon, has all the 7 rituals and steps, and I love this location and just how they set this up. And again, from like the beautiful sunset, this was in November as well. So they started the morning at the ATVs in the sunrise, and they ended the day at the sunset at the Sky Lagoon, which was a perfect day for sure. Then, of course, we have the very famous Blue Lagoon that people know about, which is a stunning location as well. And it is actually quite close to the eruptions, so you can actually see the lava fields and stuff before you drive into the Blue Lagoon. And then again, coming to like the group that you have, the client that you have. If you have a client that wants to go off the beaten track, wants to do something completely different, we have plenty of these smaller lagoons all over the island that we can go and explore. So this is definitely, again, you know your client, I know what we can offer. So it's, mixing and matching until we have the location and destinations to go and explore that makes your client very happy. So that's always the end game, making sure that the client has the wow experience that fits them. Then, of course, coming up, this is the Laugarás Lagoon. This is the newest lagoon coming in the Golden Circle. So I'm very excited about this one. This location fits perfectly. Like we can start the day in super jeeps, going to the glacier, doing snowmobiling, and then ending up in the lagoon. They will also have a very good restaurant. The chef that's opening up the restaurant that they have there is very famous in Iceland. So this is opening up in the fall. So I know I talk a lot about lagoons, but they are, I say if you come to Iceland and you don't have a dip in a lagoon, you're definitely missing out. So because it's a very big part of us and what we do. So this lagoon is going to be stunning. And then, of course, one of those nature experiences when you're coming in winter are our Northern Lights. So the Northern Lights, of course, as a natural phenomenon, is something I cannot promise, but we have very experienced Northern Light hunters. So when we have groups coming from October until, I would say, mid-April, we often have some kind of a Northern Light hunt element into the program. Quite often we will have dinner outside of the city and then do the Northern Light hunt on the way back. Sometimes we have it as an open thing, and I will simply talk to my guides and see what night is the best option to go hunting. So it's a little bit like whale watching. Like we go out and we try to explore, but we can never guarantee it. But it is, when you see it, it is a unique phenomenon for sure. But then another way to make your adventure in Iceland something completely different, that are our venues. So obviously in mainland Europe, you have stunning castles and mansions and architecture that I cannot compete with to save my life. I don't have any castles or mansions, but I have these a little bit unique and different venues. So here we have Aurora Base Camp. Aurora Base Camp is only about 25 minutes from downtown Reykjavík, but it's still in the middle of a lava field. It is in the wintertime, it's a hub where it starts showing people how to look for the Northern Lights, but it is also a venue that we can rent out privately. And here we can set up any kind of parties and events that we would like to do. So again, something like, I'm very careful, this is not a gala dinner. So no high heels, no short dresses, but it's an adventure dinner. It's a wow dinner. It's something completely different. And if you look at the fire eater in the bottom picture over there, that's around midnight in June, because in June we have 24-hour daylight. So again, those are different kind of experiences than like something you cannot have in many other destinations. Then, of course, we have our beautiful Whale Museum, which is such a stunning venue to start with. I never had guests in there that hadn't come in and go, oh my God, this is fantastic. The whales in here are life-size replica of the whales that we actually have in the ocean around Iceland. So it is a unique venue that is just perfect for something unique and different. Then, of course, I can go on with different ideas and different locations. In the south, we have this stunning cave that for small groups, we can have a private dinner in. Then, of course, we have Friðheimar, the very famous greenhouse in the Golden Circle that we can rent out privately in the evening. And now in Reykjavík as well, we have another greenhouse that opened up a restaurant for smaller groups as well. So the option to have the dining experience to be a wow factor is something that is easily done in Iceland. And I'm not even showing you everything. We have a stunning Viking house. We have a beautiful museums and stuff that we can take over. So it's just to give you an idea that the wow factor doesn't have to end when we have the dinners. We can still use it as a unique, different breakout points. And then, of course, we have Harpa. Harpa is in downtown Reykjavík. It is our conference and music hall, excuse me. And as you can see, the house itself is a piece of art. It is a stunning architectural marvel, I would say. And it has a lot of rooms that we can rent out for bigger groups. And it also has a restaurant that we can go and enjoy. So you can see, doesn't matter what you're looking for, we can easily fit it in a very regular classic gala experience as well. So it all depends on your client. Sometimes you have clients that want something quirky throughout the stay and different throughout the stay. And sometimes you will have the client that wants to have the wow gala experience in the evening. So we can easily adjust that and what you're looking for. And then just because we are the land of ice and fire, quite literally, and we often have the theme. So the blue drink is quite popular in Iceland. But of course, if you want something regular for your welcome, that is not a problem. But this is one of those little quirky things that where you can adjust, like you're in different locations. So instead of having your regular Prosecco and regular setup, we can do some quirky, different other type of cocktails easily. Now, this is my favorite subject. Iceland is a food destination. And this is such a luxury part of my job, is that the food in Iceland is very high quality. And that it doesn't matter if you have a group of 20 people or a group of 350, I know the food is always going to run good. So I can talk about this endlessly, but I will spare you that. But to give you an idea, it is obviously a lot of fish and a lot of lamb. I always get that the German people don't like the lamb, but every time I have people here coming on a site inspection and they'll try one lamb one time and they will always say, okay, this is fantastic. So in so many groups, we have always tried to tie in the lamb of the request of the client because the quality here is something that people don't expect. But it is because in the summertime, the lamb, all the sheep, they go into the highland. They roam there in the highland, free in the wilderness, and have like wild grass and season themselves up in the highland. So it's very convenient for us, but it is actually quite good. And then, of course, because we are an island in the Atlantic, we don't have any Icelandic wines, but we have a lot of Icelandic beers, and we have a lot of Icelandic distilleries. So we can actually go to the breweries and the distilleries, and we can have these kind of tours like you would have the wine tasting tours anywhere else. Me personally, I will always say, because you are in Iceland, we can get those brewmasters or the distillery masters to meet us up on the glacier, to meet us anywhere, or simply just buy the alcohol and taste the alcohol up on the glacier. It doesn't matter. But like, we can do it outside. Like, we can do it in a different environment than necessarily inside. But again, we have a lot of fun things to taste that we can do completely different to the wine tasting. So this has been quite popular. Now, I want to quickly, see, I'm trying to time this so I don't talk too long and don't talk too short, but I'm want to quickly run over the hotels that we have. So my hotels are very Scandinavian. They're always minimalistic, but they're always beautiful, have everything you're looking for, and are comfortable for everything you have. And I will always say, and this is all, of course, my personal preferences. At the end of the day, your client is king, and whatever they're looking for is going to be what we'll do. But I'm always going to say, start with 1 or 2 nights out in the countryside, and then end up in the city. The reason I say this is basically because the experience we have with groups so far is the wow factor of ending up in the rural of Iceland, because you will find either there's almost no one there or very few people there, and everyone coming from big cities like in Germany where you always have people around, it is always a wow factor. Now this hotel over here is Hotel Geysir. Now the reason I start with this hotel, as you can see the steam behind, that is where Strokkur is erupting. So as 95% of people coming to Iceland will go to gaze it during the daytime, around 5 o'clock, almost everyone there will have gone back to their hotels or their dinner plans or whatever. So the groups coming there in the evening, if you land around 4 o'clock, you're arriving at the hotel around 7. We don't have a gaze area private, but we have it in a much more exclusive way. So that's a wow factor for sure. And I've been there in this location, which is the most popular location in Iceland, 7 o'clock in the morning, and I was the only person there. And that's a unique experience for sure, even for me. Even though I've been there more often than I can count, being there all alone in the morning is such a unique experience for sure. This is the stunning Ion Hotel. You just by looking at the hotel, the architecture and the location, you can see just why this is a wow factor. It is somewhere completely different, out in the middle of nowhere. And then on top of that, they have a fantastic restaurant with great food. So that is such a unique experience. And you can see at the end of the building, there is their Northern Light bar. So this is the bar where you end the night after you arrive there in the evening, have a fantastic dinner. The greenhouse, the black house in the corner over there, that's the restaurant, which is a greenhouse that you can see out of. And then you can end up at the Northern Light bar. So that, again, it's one of those things that you can't, when you say money can't buy experience, this is basically that kind of an experience, but still with the price of a hotel room. So it is a unique experience to start the day. And then I'm quickly, obviously these are not all my hotels, but I'm just giving you the idea of what we have. Here we have the stunning Hotel Saga, one of the newer hotels, downtown Reykjavík, very great location and beautiful rooms. We have the Canopy, which is one of the first canopies open up in the world. Beautiful location, again, downtown, very modern, has a really nice connection to Iceland. So you feel like really you're waking up in a destination, which I always love. Then, of course, I am going to talk about my 5-star hotels. So this is the Edition. This is located downtown Reykjavík. It has 250 rooms, great location. And it, as I say, is a 5-star hotel. I will always say Iceland is a 5-star destination, so you are definitely looking for the experience and the wow factor. But we do find there are some clients that do prefer to have a 5-star hotel, so we do have that one. And then, of course, since I'm showing you one, I'm going to show you my other one. So this is the Blue Lagoon Retreat. It is a stunning hotel run by the Blue Lagoon, obviously, and it's just out of this world hotel, which we really love. So, but it has about 63 rooms, and if you have a group that's over, I want to say 20 rooms, we have to do a buyout of the entire property, but it is still a beautiful location. So, that was kind of my rundown of what we have here in the south of Iceland. As you can see on the map, the south of Iceland is from Reykjavík, where we have the start of the blue line, and then kind of between the glaciers and the quarter over there. There is a destination called Akureyri up in the north. So quite often, if people have come to Iceland once, they want to do something completely different. And we have a lot of options in the south to do something completely different. But because now in Akureyri, we now have an international airport. At this moment, the flights are mostly from the UK, from London Gatwick and Manchester. There has been some experimental flight directly with Zurich. I'm trying to get like the plans for the next year confirmed from the airlines. Unfortunately, I don't have great connections therein, but like the story is that it's going to be more connections to Germany. So I just want to flag the north with you, just so you know about it. So in the coming years, this could be something that is very exciting for us to offer as well, because it is completely different. But I just want to show you a little bit of the north. This is the town of Akureyri. It has 20,000 people living there. It's a stunning town, like in the middle of a fjord, beautiful mountain views and location, and just a beautiful little town to go and explore. It has beautiful nature all around. The hotel you can see there is Fosshotel Mývatn. So you can see Lake Mývatn behind there. It's a unique area with a lot of geothermal wonders, a lot of nature, a lot of sightseeing to go and explore. Then, of course, we have the Berglind hotels. We both have them in Mývatn and in Akureyri, all very good hotels we can easily use with our groups. We have stunning waterfalls. This is Goðafoss, you can see over there. Then, of course, we have Dettifoss, which is the most powerful waterfall in Europe. So there's a lot of things to go and explore, and it also has a lot of activities. We can go snowmobiling, we can go the heli-skiing there is fantastic if that's interesting. The whale watching from up north is superb because they're actually closer to the main locations of the whales as well. So the whale watching from the north is fantastic. So the experience is up in north. We can easily keep you there for three nights, 4 days, and have a full-blown program. That would be a wow factor, and with a different landscape and different experiences. And then, of course, because when I talk about our geothermal experiences, I am not kidding. We take them very seriously. You can see the big picture there is the Mývatn baths. Basically, you can see they're a little bit blue, like the Blue Lagoon. So this is the only one that has a similar color to the Blue Lagoon, and it's because of the silica in the water. Then in the top corner, you will have the forest baths that is right by Akureyri town, which is basically less than 5 minutes from downtown Akureyri. And then you have the GeoSeas on the bottom corner over there, which has fantastic views, but also has hot ocean water. So the water is there salt. So it is one of my favorite locations for sure. But that's in the town of Húsavík. So again, the north has endless options. So hopefully by the time that we will have an established connection and routes for the German airlines to fly up north, we will have you will know about the great programs we can offer up north. But I just want to flag this to you guys so you know that this is a possibility. And as soon as we have the good flight connection, of course, STR, and we will reach out to you guys and let you know about the flight options. So that was me talking, hopefully not too fast, for approximately 30 minutes to give you an idea of what Iceland has to offer. Obviously, like I said, this is not all of what we can offer, but it gives you an idea. And the idea is that you obviously know your client, so you come and you tell me kind of what they're looking for and how they want to do this, and then we will kind of tailor make it into what is the wow effect and the wow adventure for your client in Iceland.